I started off with the company name, Microsoft. I said, is there .com, .net, .org, .co.uk, .pk, .ru? What other presences are there out there? Every single top-level domain that I can identify is going to open a whole new can of worms because there's probably host names that exist at one domain and not another, but they're all part of the same parent organization. So digging for that stuff's useful. We're talking about identifying hosts. We talked about identifying users. Now let's talk about what's the security posture inside the building. Depends, but we've got some neat external indicators. One is Glassdoor. Are people happy to work there? If they're dissatisfied, I promise you they're not coming in every morning bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, checking all the log files, being really proactive, thinking outside the box. So Glassdoor is going to show us, what do people actually think about working there? Do they have a high turnover rate? How is the pay? We've got a local service provider that pays about $45,000 a year for a tier 3 position. They want you to know BGP, IP version 6, load balancers, etc., etc. If you want to get hands-on experience with BGP, it's a good place to work. If you want good benefits, good paycheck, take care of your family, not a great company. So there's a lot of turnover. The people that they get because of their hiring practices aren't as strong as some other companies. So this is stuff that you can see from the outside. Again, people are sometimes very detailed on Glassdoor. They'll talk about change procedures. They'll talk about dysfunctional management. If I see that stuff, it's some insight. How does that tie into stock price? Easy. Think about what it costs to run a SOC. Think about all these recurring fees, next generation, this and that. What appliance did you get? How much licensing did you get on your Splunk? Which SIM did you buy? The more you spend, typically the more performance you get out, and it's a constant race. Again, back to financials, if a company's stock price is very poor, how do you think they're doing internally? Are they handing out bonuses? Do you think they're spending on all their new projects? Do you think they're hardening the defenses? Or do you think they're going, well, we're not going to renew that right now. Let's tinker with an open source solution, see if we can get it set up right. People start changing roles, they start leaving. As the company's financial health declines, a lot of times that could be directly correlated to their security posture. Not always, it's an assumption that we're making, but it's yet another indicator before we breach the organization. Just getting a better understanding of who our adversary is. All right, guys, went a couple minutes over there. I hope this is still interesting for everybody. I'm glad that we're actually moving into something more tangible than just looking at the vocabulary. And we've got a lot more to go. So when we come in tomorrow, we're going to jump back into reconnaissance, and I'll show you some more things that we can look for. The takeaway from this, I think everybody comes in, they're like, okay, I can find stuff on Google, I can use Yahoo Finance, but using these things together and being able to visualize it. I'll show you a tool tomorrow called Meltigo. And Meltigo is a very powerful visualization framework that allows you to take a company and transform the company name into like a top-level domain, and take a top-level domain and turn it into an IP address, and then take that IP address and query it and say, well, what other domains live here? And it builds this web or this map that allows us to visualize the people, the places, the IP addresses, the services of a particular target organization. So we're going to learn all the basics individually first, and then we're going to talk about some very powerful tools that'll go out, grab more information than we can wrap our heads around, but help us by visually creating a map or web out of the data and in related data points. So we've got that coming up tomorrow.